Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
All right. It's Friday, people. Can we get it going? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. I'm down here if you're not sure, if you're new, if you don't know where I'm at. It's a light crowd today. My notification's not going out. This is weird. Anyway, happy Friday for those who celebrate Friday. And, yesterday I mentioned, it was breaking news yesterday during the show that O.J. Simpson passed away. And I thought, maybe for 5 minutes people would stay away from the jokes, but they didn't. And there's a lot of interesting reactions to O.J. Simpson passing. Everywhere from someone who believes they proved that O.J. Simpson didn't do it. When I say didn't do it, I mean cheat on his golf game. Good. And then someone said, the worst thing O.J. Simpson ever did was get the Fauci juice. It was tongue in cheek, and boy, did some people get upset about that joke. And there's all kinds of things. So we'll, if you have a great O.J. Simpson joke, don't put it in the Friday Q&A. We'll add it to the Q&A. I'm going to take a little extra time on the Q&A today. I'm going to truncate. Is that the right word? Truncate the news today as best I can, although we do have some breaking news concerning Iran. There's apparently, I'll tell you in a minute. But before we do anything, of course, it is my duty to say good morning to y'all. So, and I'm sure by the more time I take saying hi to y'all, more people will be able to get in the chat and stuff too. So, let's do that first. Of course, in the chat first on Rumble, Mr. Avocados Diabli gets the bell. And good morning to our good friend Jimmy Das Hotep from Hotep Nation. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Also over on YouTube. First in the chat is still Avocados Diabli continues to get that bell. Good morning also to Kara Soldier, who's been just, almost, sometimes you're there, sometimes you get close. It's pretty damn fast, I'm just saying. Also, Jimmy Das Hotep's on Rumble also. Good morning also to Tyler F., Zed the Snarky, Green Badger Outdoors, JB, Simon Wolfwood, the ever acceptable, unacceptable views. A good Canadian friend. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. And Assure You Gospel. Ebony Williams in the house. Nice to see you, my friend. Good. Welcome back. Good morning, Anon. 123. It's good to see you back. And it was just slowly pop in. We're just gonna go with what's going on here. So 19 in the chat, 7 likes, hit the like button, because that helps get more notifications. That's the thing. If you hit the like button right away, or as you're chatting, that helps. It produces more notifications somehow. That's how the algorithm works, apparently. So if you do that right away, then that helps get more people eyes on perhaps the stream. And there you go. So welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday. Hope you got a good weekend planned. My weekend is going to be, first we're going to cook up some steaks that my son sent me for my birthday. He sent me some Omaha steaks. The package came with some steaks, of course, and then also a couple some twice baked potatoes and some kind of cherry pie thing. I don't know. Kay is in the house. Kay, how are you? Nick has been trying to get a hold of you. Oh, I know. I will talk to Nick soon. I know. I think I know why he's calling me too. He didn't mention that. And he called me when I was in the airport and I was about to get on a plane. I'm like, oh, we're in Miami coming home. And I did forget to call him. So thanks for reminding me, Kay. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling well, by the way. I hope you're doing better. I know you had things going on, and so I'm glad I'm glad to see you in the chat. I'm very happy to see you in the chat. So anyway, my weekend is we're gonna cook up the steaks that he sent me from Omaha Steaks. I have no relation to Omaha Steaks other than I grew up in Omaha, and then I think Sunday we're gonna do a backup Easter celebration, more just to get together with my daughter and their grandmother. And so there you go. Anyway, so that's my plans, and maybe some gardening. Who knows? Because my garden looks like hell right now. Although some of my daffodils just bloomed, and so that's cool. Daffodils and the hyacinth blooming, and some tulips are coming up. So it's about that time, just about that time to get the garden cleaned up. Yeah, Kay, I agree. That would be awesome. All right, let's get into the show. All right. I'm just answering Kay without saying what I'm answering. Make sure you are, again, hit the like button, share the stream. Thank you to the people who've already done that. That'd be, I know Somnambule Nation has already done it. Jimmy Das Hotep's already done it. Sure You Gospel. Hit here. In fact, you can just retweet if you're on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. You can just, I'll put this in the chat. There you go. You can just go over there, click that, and retweet or repost, or whatever the hell they call it now. Oh, by the way, and I'm drinking coffee out of the same cup as yesterday because we washed dishes yesterday. I'm like, well, I want to use this cup again. So I got the old South Point, southernmost point in the continental U.S. cup from Key West, Florida. Oh, you know what else was cool? Okay, so when we were driving down the Highway 1 down the Keys, there's a big old cruise ship off on the ocean, and it was weird because we've seen a lot of boats out there, and we've seen some of those crazy yachts in Miami Beach too. Oh my gosh! But we saw one of those cruise ships off on the off in the distance, and it was just kind of weird seeing it out there heading out. Never been on an ocean cruise. I've been on a river cruise. The river cruise is really cool. I don't even think I ever want to go on an ocean cruise. In fact, when we went to Miami Beach, there was a cruise ship docked, on the channel in Miami Beach, and it was crazy. I didn't realize how big those things were and how many rooms they have. This is probably a cruise ship that probably holds about 4,000 passengers. That doesn't sound fun to me, especially after going on a river cruise when it's maybe a couple hundred people and you get to know everybody on the boat and stuff. I'm like, damn, that is huge. So anyway, but a big ash river helps. Oh yeah, a big ash river. Yeah, okay, I see. Oh, I see. Still snow up in the hills above my place. Trees are starting to green up. Yeah, trees are not greening up, but we started getting the early flowers so far. So, all right. Anyway, let's get into the news because there's a lot to get through quickly. Because I want to do Q&A, and if you have your OJ jokes, well, you can pop those in the Friday Q&A on YouTube, or just if you have questions, it's Q&A day. You can drop questions in YouTube or Rumble. Just put the multiple question marks at the beginning and the end on Rumble. YouTube has the designated Q&A clicky boxy thingy. I don't know if there's a good name for it or not, but anyway. All right, let's get it started. Good morning, Rod Line. Also, nice to see you. All right, shall we get this thing going? Still, it's weird that people must not be getting the notifications, or they're just abandoning me because I was gone. That could be it. I don't know. All right. Let's see. Let's stop this. Go back to this. Get my notifications. Thank you, Zed the Snarky, for retweeting the post. I appreciate that. So, it is, what is this? Oh, it's finally Friday. I'm just things that are trending. Finally Friday's trending, and I just thought this was cute. Good morning, everybody. It's finally Friday. Have a great day. The cat seems to be celebrating that it's Friday. It's silly. I don't know why I put that on screen, but it was funny to me. Yay, it's Friday. Other than that, let me in. Good morning, world. your little ray of sarcastic sunshine has arrived. Okay, that's it's I don't care. But the other thing about Friday, it is also Red Friday. Now, this is something we learned about a few weeks ago, and it's Red Friday, R-E-D Friday, observed across the nation as a movement where people wear red to honor and show support for the brave men and women serving in the armed forces around the world. This initiative aims to raise awareness and appreciation for the sacrifices made by military personnel and their families, encouraging participants to share their support on social media using hashtag like hashtag Remember Everyone Deployed, hashtag Red Friday, which is what our red stands for, Remember Everyone Deployed, and until they all come home. Although I don't know that they will. Well, people are stationed in other places, though. But the movement serves as a reminder of the importance of unity and support for those who protect our freedom, urging people to pray for the safety and well-being of deployed troops and express gratitude for their service. So, again, remember everyone deployed Friday on Fridays. I guess you wear red, or you can post something on social media. So there's an example. On Friday we wear red, remember everyone deployed. So I think that's a pretty cool, a pretty cool thing people started doing. I hope it catches on. Maybe I'll remember to do that. Real quick, thank you, Kay, for sponsoring the show. First sponsor of the day, who says, I'm down 60 pounds and doing much better. Man, you're doing way better than I am. I mean, I'm still down 30 after my surgery, but damn, congratulations. That's really cool. And I'm glad you're doing well. That's what's the most important thing to me. I mean, if the weight loss is something you were looking to do, great. If not, but being better is all I care about, is that you're doing better. And thank you for letting me know, and appreciate the 5 spot in Super Chat. Good morning, my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony. I see you just dropped in. Welcome. All right. Other things trending. Lawrence O'Donnell's trending, and John Brennan is trending because they had some shitty things to say about a certain guy with funny hair, because that's when these types of people trend. Apparently, Lawrence O'Donnell had a really nasty takedown of Donald Trump, and everyone's all the usual suspects are excited about it. And so, I'm getting to the point where I don't really care. It's like, these people say all the same shit. And here's a reaction, though, to one of them. Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC is a disgusting, vile human being who spews out propaganda and lies. His hit piece on Trump was like something we heard out of Nazi Germany. These people with TDS are a sick bunch. This segment was so upsetting. I wish I'd never heard this. Lawrence O'Donnell is not a journalist, but an activist for the Democrat Party. Lawrence O'Donnell is a disgrace to America. Any thoughts? Well, I haven't seen the... Okay, here, let's take a poll. Should we listen to it? Or just put a 1 if you want to listen to it. Put a 2 if say fuck it and keep going. Because I really don't care. It's, basically every time everyone tries to top one another. Now here's somebody who's excited about it. For example, if you missed the last word on Thursday, Lawrence O'Donnell humiliated Trump over the 77-year-old's fondness for pancaking his face in a ghastly shade of brown, most often described as gingerbread feces, only to leave his bright pink ears protruding. So he took he's basically talking about Donald Trump's, I don't know, fake tan, orange, brown, whatever stuff he puts on. And, but it's interesting. And Lawrence O'Donnell says Donald Trump will not testify because he cannot speak without perjuring himself, but Stormy Daniels will, and so will Michael Cohen. Oh, yeah, porn star and a convicted, a perjurer? The only thing Trump brings to his defense is a face that lies to you, a face that claims to be the color brown, betrayed by his 77-year-old pink ears. Guilty Trump for prison. Oh, that is so original. Trump for prison. Oh, that's cute. Anyway. Okay, there's only 2 votes so far. That's okay. Good morning, Special Cat Acid. No notification. See, I'm telling you. What the hell's going on? Wait, that's why you're suing Marty for his coffee mugs. What are you talking about? So anyway, I think we got the gist of what it's about because they're all excited about it. And then John Brennan, too. John Brennan saying that Donald Trump is not fit for office, which is funny because John Brennan's a lying prick. and the former CIA director, he's one of the people who signed on to that the laptop is Russian disinformation letter. So I don't give a fuck what John Brennan says, but I'll leave it in the links. If you want to watch it, you can watch it. I'm going to move on. Also, there's an some interesting news about the jabby, the Fauci juice. Apparently, so NBC News puts out this article stating COVID vaccines not linked to fatal heart problems of young people, the CDC finds. Now, a new report that debunks widespread misinformation that the mRNA shots were connected to sudden cardiac death in young athletes. Okay. Now, and so here's the article. Now I want to see if you catch it, because I'm going to read this article. And when they say a new report, okay, I'm assuming that's a study. I'm assuming it's some scholarly work that somebody did. Let's make it so you can see it a little better. Some scholarly work that someone did. A new report debunks widespread information. So let's read this article and see if you catch something that I caught almost immediately as I read through this, and I'll go somewhere near that part. Anyway, so this is somebody named Berkeley Lovelace Jr. I wonder. It must have been, I shouldn't go there, unless you know who Leonard Lovelace is. But anyway, there is no evidence that mRNA COVID vaccines cause fatal cardiac arrest or other deadly heart problems in teens and young adults. A Center for Disease Control and Prevention report published Thursday shows. Now, so, the CDC came out with this. The Center for the Disease. Yeah, everything they've told us in the last 4 years about COVID had been exactly accurate and perfectly normally correct. One of those notorious examples. Ever since the vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna were authorized in late 2020, anti-vaccination groups wait a minute, anti-vaccination groups? Are there like a anti-vaccination association or some shit like that? Anyway, in the U.S. have blamed the shots for fatal heart problems in young athletes because we've had this surge, so to speak, of young athletes collapsing, right? Sudden collapse and dying. One of the most notorious examples of vaccine misinformation involves Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin, 26, who in 2023 collapsed on Monday Night Football as a result of cardiac arrest. Hamlin was resuscitated on the field and eventually recovered. He returned to play for the Bills last season. Okay, well, it's one. So they got one example. When Damar Hamlin went down, immediately comments were getting made that it was possibly vaccine-related, said study co-author Paul Cieslak. Cieslak, is that a little bit too close of a certain monster from Land of the Lost? Who remembers? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Land of the Lost. Hello, Amazing Disgrace. So he's the medical director of communicable diseases and immunizations at Oregon Health Authority's Public Health Division. Quote, this is kind of what we were trying to address with this analysis. Wait a minute. Listen to that sentence. Listen how definitive this is. This is kind of what we were trying to address with this analysis. Okay, so this is an analysis. The findings in the new report come from the analysis of nearly 1,300 death certificates of Oregon residents ages 16 to 30 who died from any heart condition or unknown reasons between June 1st, 2021 and December 31st, 2022. So this is specifically in Oregon. Hello, Joe Rag. I don't even know how to say that. Joe Rag S. Footy 6, something like that. During this time period. Now, this is in Oregon. Any heart condition or any unknown reason. During this time period, nearly 1 million teens and young adults in the state of Oregon had gotten a COVID vaccine, the authors wrote. The authors refined their focus to people who got an mRNA COVID vaccine from Pfizer or Moderna and died within 100 days of being vaccinated. Okay, so now let's take this again. Out of 40 deaths that occurred among people who got an mRNA COVID vaccine, 3 occurred within that time frame. So within 100 days of being vaccinated. 2 of the deaths were attributed to chronic underlying health conditions. The 3rd death was recorded as an undetermined natural cause with toxicology tests returning negative for alcohol, cannabis, methamphetamine, or other illicit substances. The medical examiner could neither confirm nor exclude COVID vaccination as the cause of death. However, none of the death certificates attributed the fatalities to the vaccine. While it remains unclear whether the vaccine caused the 3rd death, CSLAC noted that the analysis showed that 30 people died from COVID during that time, the majority of whom were not vaccinated. 30 people who? 30 kids? Quote, when you're balancing risk and benefits, you have to look at that and go, you've got to bet on the vaccine, he said. Wait a minute. So did you catch that? This is interesting. By the way, thank you, GunFox61, for dropping a Hamilton in the tip jar. And you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. And dropping a big article for another MSNBC article. Oh, good God. And thank you for dropping this. It's let's see what this is real quick. What you got there? Oh, okay. This is gonna piss off people, and it'll piss off all the right people, though. All right, we'll drop that in the list here. We'll get it there, and we'll put it at the top of the. It goes to the top of the list because it's hijacked the showtime. Oh, and another one. Thank you, Gunfox61. Dropping another Hamilton in the tip jar, and we'll open that one too. Just a reminder that
China is asshole.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. There's another similar article to this one. Register for a BBC account to continue. Eat me. Hang on a second. I say, kiss all of my ass, and I'm not doing it. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Gunfox. Okay, all right. Let me get back to this though. So on this, where was I? Here we go. So anyway, did you catch this? So they're saying that, so they have 40 deaths within the first 100 days. Now they're saying, out of the 40 deaths that occurred among the people who got the mRNA COVID vaccine, 3 occurred within that time frame. 2 of the deaths were attributed to chronic underlying health conditions. Well, how do we know if... Okay, so here's the problem I have. Hello, Stoner Adventures. What's up? It's interesting that they assume that it had no relation to the juice. And they say that 3 occurred within that time frame. Of the 40 deaths that occurred among people who got the mRNA COVID vaccine, 3 occurred during that time frame. 2 of the deaths were attributed to chronic underlying health conditions. The 3rd death was recorded as an undetermined natural cause with toxicology tests recording negative for alcohol, cannabis, methamphetamine, and other illicit substances. The medical examiner could not confirm nor exclude COVID vaccination as a cause of death. However, none of the death certificates attributed the fatalities to the vaccine. Well, of course they didn't. Why would they have attributed the vaccines then? That's what I don't understand. The idea that they're making definitive statements on one state when they're not saying that they were all in one state. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, you can read the article. Thank you, Gunfuck, dropping another Hamilton in the tip jar. Yay! Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, so let me put this out here too. I'm gonna move this. Wait, didn't open. What hell? There we go. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, we know about this one too. Okay. All right. We'll get this up here. All right. Let's move on though. Let's move on because I'm done with that. It's a study from the CDC from one state, not really studying all the. It's such a small sample that they're using that they don't know. But 33, so possibly 10% still, because they said only there were 30 deaths during that time from COVID, and there are 3 from the with no determining cause, and they didn't check for that cause. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that keeps playing out. Let's talk about some breaking news though, because we need to get into this. This is important. Apparently, the world is bracing for an Iran strike on Israel, and there's several different related items to this today. So apparently, in a significant development, U.S. intelligence has indicated that Iran is expected to launch a major attack against Israel within the next 24 to 48 hours. The anticipated assault could involve more than 100 drones and dozens of missiles targeting military installations in Israel. This information comes amid heightened tensions between the two nations, with U.S. officials warning of the potential for a significant military escalation. The exact reasons for the potential attack are not explicitly stated, but it is likely related to the ongoing tensions between Iran and Israel. Oh, really? I couldn't imagine that. But so here, someone here breaking global eye news. Iran will attack Israel within the next 48 hours, according to U.S. intelligence. Lots of people talking about this. Again, breaking news, according to the U.S. media, Iran to attack Israel. Iranians are backing their government. What is going on? As Biden also vows ironclad U.S. commitment to Israel amid fears of an Iran attack. So this is not good news. And could this cause an escalation that includes, excuse me, U.S. military? Iran backed down. U.S. told him. Oh, Gunfox has some other information. Go back and restart the show. I've been busy filling. No, Iran backed down. Okay, U.S. told them, do it. I dare you. F double dog dare you. And find out what happens. Iran backed down already. Okay, interesting. Breaking, and this is 1 hour ago, breaking United States officials tell CBS News that a major attack against Israel is expected as soon as today. Well, so I'm still getting news reports from this morning. U.S. was about to shove Moabs up their asses. Okay. Interesting. I wonder what the latest on this is. I wonder. Let's see. Well, let's see. Let's find out, because you say they've already backed down. Well, let's check that out. Let's go Iran. Iran attack, and let's get the latest. See if anything has popped up here. Here's some people here saying, this is Kurdish Observer, if the attack does happen, it is unbelievable that it took almost 2 weeks to respond to the bombing of a consulate. This war has been ongoing for half a year, which means Iran had all the time in the world to secure its assets and facilities and to prepare a targets bank. So Israeli and American sources report that Iran's response is imminent. Iran is expected to target military positions in Israel in a limited strike in the next 48 hours. Someone here says, if Iran attacks Israel, they have invited destruction on Tehran. I am not advocating that they attack, but in case they do, Israel should remove all gloves and hit them with an iron fist. Iran knows the tragedy of such an attack. I believe in the God of Israel. Okay, interesting. I don't see any. Okay, wait a minute. Here's one. Guys. The imminent attack from Iran is a front for we need a new reason to defend the genocidal monsters after they slaughtered those AIDS workers from the world's central kitchen. Can't you see it? Okay, this is obviously an anti-Israel protesting type person. Someone here says Iran is only going to do a small attack. They're waiting for the Sabbath to start. There is a less chance of civilian casualties. Basically, it's all big talk and no show for the real thing. Yeah, I don't see anyone saying they've backed down, but we'll see. Now, a related note to that, France and the UK have advised citizens to leave Iran. Iran and Israel amid tension. The UK and French governments have recently issued advisories urging their citizens to leave Israel and avoid travel to Iran, Lebanon, Israel, and the Palestinian territories due to the risk of military escalation in the Middle East. The French government has advised against all travel to these areas and is evacuating the families of French diplomats in Tehran, while the UK government has called on British citizens in Israel to leave the country immediately if their stay is not essential. This comes amid growing concerns over safety of their citizens in the region. Thank you, Gunfox. Oh, there's an update. Okay, so here's the update that Gunfox was talking about. All right. U.S. tries to avert Iranian retaliatory attack on Israel amid threat of wider conflict. So this is just within the hour. High-level U.S. officials are urgently trying to pressure Iran to back down from its threats to launch a retaliatory strike against Israel, the latest challenge facing the Biden administration as it tries to avert an all-out regional war in the Middle East. In a sign of how seriously the U.S. views the risk of escalation, the Pentagon confirmed on Thursday that General Michael Eric Kurilla, the commander of the U.S. Central Command, has moved up a previously scheduled trip to Israel to meet with senior Israeli military leaders due to recent developments. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin also spoke by phone with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Thursday afternoon to discuss the current situation in the Middle East and reaffirm the U.S.'s ironclad commitment to Israel's security against threats from Iran and its proxies, according to Major General Pat Ryder, the Pentagon press secretary. Although the U.S. does not have direct diplomatic ties to Iran, State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said that Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has been working the phones with his counterparts in countries that do, encouraging them to use their influence to dissuade Iran from taking military action in response to the bombing of its consulate in Damascus, Syria. Oh, that's what happened. Okay, I got you. So it's a retaliatory action that they're thinking is going to happen. In his conversations with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, and Saudi Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan, Blinken made clear that escalation is not in anyone's interest and that countries should urge Iran not to escalate, according to Miller. U.S. officials previously told ABC News that the administration believes Iran could retaliate against Israel in the coming days, potentially using drones and missiles to attack regional assets. And that information about the threat has been shared with lawmakers on Capitol Hill. I got to tell you, though, Gunfox, I'm not seeing the back down part on here. But it is good that our government, the leaders in our government are taking this seriously and trying to work the phones on this. So interpret that as you may, and there you go. The other thing, too, by the way, that is related to this, Kuwait and Qatar say no go for U.S. bases against Iran. In a significant development, Qatar and Kuwait have informed the United States that they will not permit the use of their bases for launching attacks against Iran. This decision has been communicated by both countries to the U.S., effectively reducing the U.S.'s military capabilities in the region. The move has sparked discussions and reaction across various platforms, highlighting the strategic implications of this decision for the Middle East and the broader international community. So just guess, keep your eyes open. Faisal, so that's where that mouse went. And that's funny. Good morning, those ain't real, dude, by the way. So yeah, this is I would say not a good set of developments. Read into it what you will, and we'll have to watch. Keep an eye on the news over the next 24 to 48 hours, because it could get a little bit hairy. Let's just say that. All right, moving on. GOP Senator Vance sparks debate with Ukraine op-ed. In a recent New York Times op-ed, GOP Senator J.D. Vance from Ohio criticized the Biden administration's approach to the Ukraine-Russia conflict, arguing that there is no viable plan for Ukraine to win the war, suggesting that the U.S. should focus on brokering peace. This has sparked a heated debate, with some accusing Vance of spreading defeatist propaganda and being pro-authoritarian. What? Wait a minute. How so? How is that being pro-authoritarian? So now negotiating for peace should focus on brokering peace is authoritarian? Come on. While others believe the U.S. should continue supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russian aggression, critics also highlighted the challenges faced by Ukraine, including the need for more soldiers and military equipment, which some argue are beyond the country's capabilities. Yeah, because they're conscripting teenagers and old people because they're running out of men. Or at least who could fight. I don't know. They sent all their women abroad so they would not be in harm's way, and so they're I don't know, man. I don't know how to even to talk about that, man. They're claiming appeasing Russia is being pro-authoritarian. Well, yeah, but I don't know, man. Oh, and this person, the first comment is, J.D. Vance sold out his family to sell books and his community for power. If you think he wouldn't sacrifice an entire country of people he doesn't know to a murderous dictator in order to score points in a VP race or maybe even a cup of coffee, you've got another thing coming. Well, go kiss your, go, whatever. You have your opinion. He has his, but holy shit. Gunfox says Iran has about 190 aircraft, of which about an estimated 40 at most flyable. The best they have are F-14s. The U.S. has F-35s, F-18s, F-18 Super Hornets. All would have an easy time hitting F-5s and F-14s and MiG-29s. Yeah, the Iranian Air Force isn't going to challenge the U.S. Air Force. I mean, we probably have enough just in the carrier groups to take out their Air Force. But they say they have, the attacks are going to be drones and missiles. I don't know what their capabilities with drones and missiles are. It'll be interesting. All right, moving on so I can get through this. Also, the Trump trial in New York on the Stormy Daniels case is coming to a start, I should say. On Monday, the former President Donald Trump's first criminal trial, a historic hush money trial, is set to begin in New York. The trial, which is expected to last several weeks, centers around allegations of a hush money payment made during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. If convicted, Trump could face some prison time. Oh no! This is one of the biggest bullshit cases. This trial marks the first time ever criminal trial of a former U.S. president, and has significant implications for Trump's political future and the broader political landscape. Jury selection is scheduled to start Monday, and Trump, as a defendant, is required to be present in court. This is that BS case where they are saying, basically they're saying that Trump broke federal law And so paying, as far as election law, so paying off, apparently there's a law, some kind of law in New York that if you pay something off that breaks federal law, it's a felony in New York, and they made it 34 felony counts. But they had the dude, Alvin Bragg, that's the Soros paid district attorney of Manhattan, had to twist the law into knots to make this fit. And so it's a dubious use of the law, and people are just the left is just salivating. And then Trump's hush money payment, or this is Forbes, Trump's hush money payment itself isn't illegal in itself. Here's why he's actually on trial. So here's an article from Forbes that you can read that someone explains. I might have to archive a version of this because copy AR. There we go. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, it's going to archive itself. It's just, the lawfare is in full swing starting Monday. Let's put it that way. The first of the trials starts Monday. But speaking of illegalities, apparently, well, I don't know if this is illegal, but apparently $1.5 million from the DNC, Biden's classified legal bills. The Democratic National Committee paid over $1.5 million in campaign donations to cover President Joe Biden's legal bills during the special counsel's probe into his handling of classified documents last year. The move has sparked controversy and debate as it contradicts the Biden campaign's criticism of Donald Trump for using campaign funds to cover legal fees. Oh my gosh, did they just do what they isn't it funny how they always are guilty of what they accuse others of? Isn't that hilarious? The DNC's decision raises questions about the ethical implications and the use of campaign donations, with discussions about the differences in how both political parties handle legal expenses and the potential impact on public perception. Now, it's kind of funny because, you do realize that Congress also has a specific fund to cover the improprieties of representatives and senators. Did you know that they have special funds that covers legal fees for things that happen while they are doing whatever? So here's one of the breaking news. Kyle Becker, breaking news. President Biden used campaign donations to pay legal bills for special counsel Hur's classified documents probe. $1.5 million. Now that's amazing. So lots of people talking about that, especially people on the right, because it's a gotcha on the right. And I'm sure if that happened on the other side, the people on the left would be touting it because that was Biden saying, oh, you're using campaign funds to mount your legal bills. So goose gander, right? Or pot kettle, or banana and peel, whatever. I don't know how you want to describe that. Moving on. By the way, speaking of the stupid 19, the FDA retracts anti-ivermectin stamps amidst debate. The FDA's recent retraction of statements discouraging the use of ivermectin for stupid 19 treatment has ignited a heated debate, with 49 randomized clinical trials, 35 of which showed benefits. Let me repeat that. With 49 randomized clinical trials, 35 of which showed benefits, the efficacy of ivermectin remains a contentious issue. Skepticism towards the CDC and government doctors' expertise has been highlighted, questioning the credibility and motives of health agencies. Well, they wanted to get their vaccines approved under emergency medical use, so you can't have anything alternative way to take care of something. So of course they found a way to poo-poo the possibilities of the wonder drug that people use all around the world for all sorts of things, of course. Anyway, the discussion includes playful banter and skepticism, reflecting the ongoing controversy surrounding ivermectin's use in COVID-19 treatment. So, isn't that funny? The CDC quietly admits COVID policy failures. Well, who's going to jail for that? Who's going to jail? Now this is funny because the FDA commissioner says ivermectin has no benefit against COVID-19. Food and Drug Administration recently agreed to retract statements urging people not to use it as a treatment, though. So now then here's some greatest hits about people talking about that particular drug. This dude. Who's this? Jamie Raskin? Here's Jamie Raskin. What is this from? This is a while back. Here it is. Oh no, this is and this is even the wrong one. Isn't it? Which is the? Oh, here. Let's listen to this.
The commissioner who's the head of the Food and Drug Administration, and then we get a drive-by spray of propaganda, disinformation, and
Diesel Dave, what's up?
Ideological attacks. So let me try to sort some of this out, and maybe we'll help to illuminate why we have a Food and Drug Administration rather than leaving it to politicians in state legislatures or in Congress to make decisions based on ideological whim. But let's start with ivermectin, which I believe is an animal deworming agent that
never
some
used
people
on
were
humans
advocating
Never
or
used
to
ever.
treat COVID-19. Has this been approved as a form of treatment or a cure for COVID-19?
No, it has not, if I may. I should also point out it also has benefit for humans with worms, which is a huge problem in Asia. So it actually won a Nobel Prize because it's an amazing drug both for animals and humans.
So it is see, now this is, I don't think Jamie Raskin wanted to hear that answer. Is this recently? I don't even know.
To have worms. And there was a good reason to think it may work in the case of COVID, and that's why, thankfully, the community, including the NIH, did a number of randomized clinical trials. There's just no benefit, and, you know, that's true of most things that we try.
Well, wait a minute. Now, hold on. No benefit, but with 49 randomized clinical trials, 35 of which showed benefits, but he says no benefits. That's interesting. So here is, listen to this. There is some other questioning here. Let's try this.
Went on to say that in COVID, that you need to get vaccinated, saying, quote, somehow the reliable, truthful messages are not getting across, and it's being washed out by a lot of misinformation, which is leading people to make bad choices. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to a tweet that I know that you're familiar with. On the post forward, it says, "You're not a horse. You're not a cow. Seriously, y'all, stop it." Another sarcastic tweet from the FDA read, "Hold your horses, y'all. Ivermectin may be trending, but it isn't authorized or approved to treat COVID-19. The FDA put out these messages in 2021 and made similar posts on the other platforms to discourage people from using ivermectin to prevent or treat COVID. In January 2022, the FDA was sued by a number of doctors who claimed that you were practicing medicine as an organization. As part of that settlement, you were forced to delete these. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You went on to say that in COVID,
because you dipshits
that you need to
lied. So anyway, that's in the news. Let's get through this quickly because now I'm way behind my personal schedule. Chinese immigrant. Oh, this is. Wait a minute. How long is this? Oh, so apparently David Hogg decided to debate somebody. David Hogg, you know, gun guy. And the breaking news based on guns right now. So yesterday, the news was that the Biden administration, Joe Biden did an executive order on guns. And guess what his executive order was? In fact, do I have that handy here? I think I do. Is this the one? No, it's not. Oh, where's my one with Krasenstein? I don't think I have it up here. Anyway, they did this executive order on guns saying that licensed gun dealers must get background checks for people who purchase guns at gun shows and over the internet. And they're touting this as something that will save lives. Licensed gun dealers must get background checks for people buying guns at gun shows and over the internet. Now, when I saw that, and the reason I looked it up is because one of the Krasteen brothers were saying, "Oh my gosh, this is so great! The Biden administration is doing something and it'll save lives." Blah 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 blah. Somebody in the Biden administration probably should have looked up the current laws, because licensed gun dealers already have to do background checks on people who buy guns at gun shows and on the internet. They already have to. If you purchase a gun at a gun show, you can't, it's not like you go cash and carry, okay? You do not do cash and carry. You have to get your background check at the gun show. They send that out and you go home, and then you have it shipped to a licensed, federally, whatever licensed dealer to pick up your gun after the background check. Same thing with internet sales. So they made it sound like they were doing something when actually they did nothing. But boy, oh boy, is that a really nice thing for the base. So on that note, apparently Mr. David Hogg, you know David Hogg, who's basically claim to fame is that he's well, let's just say that he's living off the fame of his dead classmates. David Hogg had a debate with apparently some Chinese immigrant, and they were having a debate on guns. And apparently this is the best part of it, so we'll listen to it. Here we go. Oh, let me put it on the screen here, sorry. All right, here we go. This is the best part of the debate.
My name is Lily Tang Williams. Welcome to my live free or die state. Actually, I am a Chinese immigrant who survived communism. And under Mao, 40 million people were starving to death after he sold communism to them. And 20 million people died, murdered during his Cultural Revolution. So my question to you, David, is that can you guarantee me, a gun owner tonight, our government in the U.S., in D.C., will never become a tyrannical government? Can you guarantee that to me?
There's no way I can ever guarantee that any government will not be tyrannical.
Well, then the debate on gun control is over, because I will never give up my guns. Never, never. And you should go to China to see how gun control works for dictatorship. All
right. So anyway, I guess that was the best part of it. All right, let's move on. All right, what's this? Armed thugs versus, okay, there are a few other things. I'm going to skip everything else. I got to go to Gun Fox's articles, then we'll do Q&A and hopefully some O.J. Simpson jokes, cuz yesterday when we did I was trying to be super respectful of the death of a human being, and I guess I was. I think I accomplished my goal of being respectful, saying, regardless what you think of O.J. Simpson and his past and whatnot, he's a human being and he's a family that loves him. And, so may his family find some solace in that wherever it happens to O.J. Simpson. And then I went on the internet later and, oh my God, the jokes and the memes and everything. And I included them one in the thumbnail today. So we're going to get to that. But first, let's do Gun Fox's articles real quick. Top story, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds signs a Texas-like immigration law. Iowa is now the second state to recently challenge the federal government's authority on immigration policies, action that civil rights groups say is blatantly unconstitutional, which as you know, my stance on this, it is probably unconstitutional, but here we go. Iowa governor. And it's not because it's not about civil rights groups, by the way. It has nothing to do with the civil rights of illegal immigrants. It's just that it's the federal government's job to enforce immigration, which they're failing miserably at. Okay? It's not because you're violating the civil rights of illegal immigrants. Okay? Let's just get that straight. But anyway, so it's an MSNBC article. So here we go. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds has signed a law that will allow local law enforcement officials to arrest some undocumented immigrants and state courts to order their deportation, making Iowa the second state to recently challenge the federal government's authority on immigration policies. The legislation, Senate File 2340, criminalizes being in Iowa if a person has been previously deported or denied entry into the country. Now that's a little different than Texas, but not. It's very similar. The law goes into effect in July. In a statement Wednesday, Reynolds criticized President Joe Biden's immigration policies and she said the bill gives Iowa law enforcement the power to do what he is unwilling to do, enforce immigration laws already on the books. Iowa joins Texas in granting state officials the power to enforce their own rules on immigration, a move that civil rights groups say is unconstitutional. The American Civil Liberties Union said Wednesday that Iowa's law facilitates racial profiling and stereotyping. Oh, see, I love it. They want to use it, call it a race issue. No, it's a you're in my country legal issue. In March, a federal appellate court blocked Texas's law from being enforced as the legal battle over it plays out. Both state laws mirror a similar failed attempt by Arizona to defy federal immigration powers 14 years ago. Like many other Republican governors, Reynolds has been a fierce critic of Biden's immigration policies, as is warranted. She has deployed the Iowa National Guard to support Texas Governor Greg Abbott's anti-immigrant crackdown. Oh, these motherfuckers. The language they use is just bullshit. No. Not anti-immigrant crackdown. It's not anti-immigrant. It's enforcing immigration laws. Because is anyone trying to stop legal immigrants from coming into the country? Is anyone trying to deport legal immigrants? No. No. So stop saying immigrant. Anti-illegal immigration. Anti-illegal border crossing. Criminal acts. But the new law targets people in Reynolds' own state. According to the American Immigration Council, just 5.3% of Iowa residents are foreign-born, with undocumented immigrants accounting for a whopping 1.1% of the state's population. What's more, Des Moines is more than 1,100 miles from, say, Eagle Pass, Texas, a border town that... So what? I am telling you, they're right. Unfortunately, those laws are unconstitutional. And I don't know if you could get anyone in the Supreme Court to say, oh, well, the federal government's not doing their job and the Texas has the right to protect itself, blah, blah, blah. Probably not, because it's very explicit in the Constitution who immigration policy and enforcement is under the purview of, and that would be the executive branch. But when they write stupid shit like anti-immigrant crackdown as opposed to anti-illegal border crossing, they're just lying and being advocates. All right, moving on. There's a $2 billion dirty money case that rocks Singapore. Singaporean court has begun handing out sentences in a sensational case which saw 10 Chinese nationals charged for laundering $2.2 billion with a B dollars earned from criminal activities abroad. The scandal embroiled multiple banks, property agents, precious metal traders, and a top golf club. It led to extensive raids in some of the most affluent neighborhoods where police seized billions in cash and assets. The lurid details have gripped Singaporeans. Among the seized assets were 152 properties, 62 vehicles, shelves of luxury bags and watches, hundreds of pieces of jewelry, and thousands of bottles of alcohol. They were going to have a party. Earlier this month, Su Wen Clan. Okay, I'm going to butcher some names here. Sorry, I don't speak any forms of Chinese. Earlier this month, Su Wenjiang, Su Hajin became the first to be jailed in the case. Su Hajin, police said, jumped off the second-floor balcony of a house trying to flee the arrest. Both men will serve a little over a year in prison, after which they will be deported and barred from returning to Singapore. 8 others are still awaiting the court's decision. Even as it draws close, the case, the biggest of its kind in Singapore, has raised the inevitable questions. The money that paid for their plush lives in the country, prosecutors said, came from illegal sources overseas, such as scams and online gambling. Oh! How did these men, some of whom had multiple passports from Cambodia, Vanuatu, Cyprus, and Dominica, live and bank in Singapore for years without drawing scrutiny? It has sparked a review of policies, with banks tightening rules, especially around clients who hold multiple passports. Most important, the case has spotlighted the country's struggle with welcoming the super wealthy without also becoming a destination for ill-gotten gains. Oh, I gotcha. Singapore, which is often referred to as the Switzerland of Asia, started wooing banks and wealth managers in the 1990s. Economic reforms in China and India have begun to pay off. And then in the 2000s, newly stable Indonesia saw wealth grow as well. Soon, Singapore became a haven for foreign businesses with investor-friendly laws, tax exemptions, and other incentives. Today, the ultra-rich can fly into Singapore's private jet terminal, live it up in luxurious quayside neighborhoods, and speculate on the world's first diamond trading exchange. Just outside the airport is a maximum security vault called Le Freeport that provides tax-free storage for fine arts, jewels, wine, and other valuables. The $100 million facility is often dubbed as Asia's Fort Knox. So, anyway, let's see. This isn't the first time Singapore-based banks have been implicated in financial crime. They were found to have played a role in the cross-border laundering of the 1 million MDB scandal, where billions of misappropriated funds from Malaysia's state investment fund, Dan Tan, who was once described by Interpol as the leader of the world's most notorious match-fixing syndicate, also had strong business links to Singapore. He was arrested here in 2013. The country has strict rules targeting white-collar crimes and is an active member of the Financial Action Task Force, a global body which targets money laundering and financial terror networks. Over the years, banks have invested heavily to strengthen compliance, to screen prospective customers, and urge regulators to support suspicious transactions. But none of this is foolproof, obviously. So, yeah, that's a big one. Now, it's funny that you showed me that one, Gunfox, because there's another one out of Vietnam. Where's the Vietnam one? There's the person in Vietnam is I must have not done it. I saw one today. There's another one in Vietnam. A woman got sentenced to death for financial crimes. I don't have the article. All right, let's keep going here because I got to get through these and then get to quick Q&A. Vice President Kamala Harris heals up. Heads to Arizona days after restrictive abortion ruling, hoping to use reproductive rights to galvanize voters. We talked about this from the other day. Thank you, Dave. I didn't miss it. I saw it. I'm catching up here. Thank you so much, Dave, for the super chat, Deuce. Since you keep missing it, I'm good. How you doing, bud? I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm tanned and rested. I just got back from Florida. All right. So Kamala Harris will travel to Arizona on Friday, hoping to use this week's restrictive abortion ruling to mobilize voters who see November's election as a referendum on women's health rights. Her visit to the battleground state comes on the heels does not talk about Kamala's heels. The Arizona Supreme Court ruling that revived a 160-year-old law barring all abortions except in cases when it is necessary to save the pregnant person's life. Again, this pregnant person thing. Pregnant person. Anyway, thrusting abortion politics into the spotlight. Harris has been crisscrossing the country as part of her reproductive rights tour since January, arguing that abortion rights hang in the balance with the results of the election. Last month, Harris visited a Planned Parenthood clinic in Minnesota, becoming the first sitting vice president or president to visit an abortion provider. So, I'm not good. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. At her campaign event Friday, Harris expected to cast the court ruling as one of the biggest aftershocks yet since the overturning of Roe. Here in Arizona, they have turned the clock back more than a century on women's rights and freedoms. The overturning of Roe was a seismic event, and this ban in Arizona is one of the biggest aftershocks yet. Yes, so Arizona lawmakers need to go and decide what they want their policy on abortion be and write that law or repeal the law that they're talking about. And they should have done that immediately, but they didn't because they haven't had to for 50 years. And now all the states got to grapple with this. It is not in the Constitution that makes abortion legal. So all these states need to fix their laws to the way they want them. And until they do, this is a possibility. Okay. But there should be no federal law regarding this, period. And I also say there should be no federal law banning abortion. Okay? Not the purview of the federal government, period. And we got to get back to that. Okay? If it's in the Constitution, the federal government does it, then the federal government should do it. This is not one of those things. And there's a lot of things that need to be repealed that the federal government does that they should not be doing. So there you go. Also, this is also gun. Oh, this one. This is the one. This is the one. It was right here. And did you give me this one, Gunfax? Maybe you did. True. This is the Vietnamese billionaire sentenced to death in a $44 billion fraud. The most spectacular trial ever held in Vietnam, befitting one of the greatest bank frauds the world has ever seen. Behind the stately yellow portico of the colonial-era courthouse in Ho Chi Minh City, a 67-year-old Vietnamese property developer was sentenced to death on Thursday for looting one of the country's largest banks over a period of 11 years. Holy shit. It's a rare verdict. She is one of the very few women in Vietnam to be sentenced to death for a white-collar crime. The decision is a reflection of the dizzying scale of the fraud. True My Lan was convicted of taking out $44 billion in loans from the Saigon Commercial Bank. The verdict requires her to return $27 billion, as some prosecutors said may never be recovered. If she's dead, how do you return it? Some believe the death penalty is the court's way of trying to encourage her to return some of the missing billions. The habitually secretive communist authorities were uncharacteristically forthright about this case, going into minute details for the media. They said that 2,700 people were summoned to testify, while 10 state prosecutors and around 200 lawyers were involved. So this is a massive, massive case. The evidence was in 104 boxes, weighing a total of 6 tons. 85 others were tried with True My Lan, who denied the charges and can appeal. All of the defendants were found guilty. 4 received life in jail. The rest were given prison terms ranging from 20 years to 3 years suspended. True My Lan's husband and niece received jail terms of 9 and 17 years respectively. There has never been a show trial like this, I think, in the communist era, says David Brown, a retired U.S. State Department official with long experience in Vietnam. There was certainly been nothing on this scale. The trial was the most dramatic chapter so far in the Blazing Furnaces anti-corruption campaign led by the Communist Party's Secretary General Nguyen Phu Trong, a conservative ideologue steeped in Marxist theory. Nguyen Phu Trong believes that popular anger over untamed corruption poses an existential threat to the Communist Party monopoly on power. He began the campaign in earnest in 2016 after outmaneuvering the then pro-business prime minister to retain the top job in the party. The campaign has seen 2 presidents and 2 deputy prime ministers forced to resign, hundreds of officials disciplined or jailed. Now one of the country's richest women has joined their ranks. Trong My Lan comes from a Sino-Vietnamese family in Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon. It has long been the commercial engine of the Vietnamese economy, dating well back to its days as the anti-communist capital of South Vietnam, with a large ethnic Chinese community. She started as a market stall vendor. Selling cosmetics with her mother, but began buying land and property after the Communist Party ushered in a period of economic reform known as Doi Moi in 1986. By the 1990s, she owned a large portfolio of hotels and restaurants. Wow! So she went from a street vendor to owning hotels and restaurants. Although Vietnam is best known outside the country for its fast-growing manufacturing sector as an alternative supply chain to China, most wealthy Vietnamese made their money developing and speculating in property. All land is officially state-owned. Getting access to it often relies on personal relationships with state officials. Oh, shocker. In a communist country? How could that be? Corruption escalated as the economy grew beyond and became endemic. By 2011, Mai True Lan was a well-known business figure in Ho Chi Minh City, and she was allowed to arrange the merger of 3 smaller cash-strapped banks into a larger entity, Saigon Commercial Bank. Vietnamese law prohibits any individual from holding more than 5% of the shares in any bank, but prosecutors say that through hundreds of shell companies and people acting as her proxies, Trung My Lan owned more than 90% of Saigon Commercial. They accused her of using her power to appoint her own people as managers and then ordering them to approve hundreds of loans to the network of shell companies she controlled. The amounts taken out are staggering. Her loans made up 93% of all the bank's lending. Oh my gosh. So anyway, you get the point here. She was very savvy and controlled the market, and because the Communist Party has favored certain people, somehow got into favor, but then they didn't watch her closely enough, and so she basically, $44 billion later, now she's going to be put to death. Wow. There you go. All right, that's it. All the other articles I'm skipping because we got to do Q&A, and I was going to talk about O.J. Simpson, but maybe, just maybe, in the jokes, in the Q&A, there will be some O.J. jokes. And the reason I put that on the cover is because there were just so many people making jokes and making funny things and memes and shit. But the funniest thing that I saw yesterday, was Tariq Nasheed all day was writing posts about how he said he has proven, he's been doing this for 10 years, he is proven that O.J. Simpson did not kill Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldstein. He proved it, he said. Now, one thing about the O.J. trial, they had more than enough evidence to convict O.J. Simpson. But for some reason, somebody in that, and I don't think it was a prosecutor, it was probably police or whatever. For some reason, they had one piece of evidence that pretty much killed the case. And that was known as the bloody sock. If you don't remember the case, there was, look, they had DNA from him, O.J. Simpson's blood. They had DNA. They had a pair of rare shoes, Bruno Mali shoes, that O.J. Simpson wore during this, and that were his size, shoe print, and it had a unique shoe print. They had all kinds of evidence. But this bloody sock that that was overkill. Oh, and the gloves too. The gloves, if they do not fit, you must have quit. I remember watching that, and I'm like, you know what? I have large hands, and I know how it is hard to put in small gloves. But these gloves had been blood soaked and probably shrunk a little bit. They were leather gloves, and if you don't want to make gloves fit that are a little bit too small, it's very easy to make it look like you can't get them on. And I laughed about that during the trial. But the bloody sock. Somehow they came with this evidence of bloody sock, and I don't know why they did it, but the blood in the bloody sock had both OJ's blood and the victim's blood. Problem is, the defense had him examined, and there was a blood preservative substance within the blood on the sock that whoever created this piece of evidence maybe not have known, and that basically killed the trial for him. He was found not guilty. Now, no one says he was innocent, but they found him not guilty. The jury did, and there was retaliation. Probably some of it was kind of retribution for, the Rodney King incident. If you don't remember that. So anyway, basically, OJ got off scot-free, but everyone except for Tariq Nasheed knows that OJ did it. Even people who said the verdict was correct. For example, was it Mark Lamont Hill this morning said he knew that OJ killed those people. He's a murderer, but the verdict was correct because of the corrupt legal system. That's what he said. Okay. So anyway, but the jokes were great. And so let's just, maybe there'll be some in the Q&A, maybe it'll just be Q&A, but let's go to Q&A now. So I can save face on not doing my show correctly, because I didn't get to OJ at all. Sorry about that. Maybe another day we'll go through just exclusively the ones I found. But I figure that this is a case where I bet that you all could probably come up with a few good OJ jokes. If there are duplicates, I guarantee you we will not be reading them. But there's a long Q&A today, I see. Oh my gosh, here we go. So here we go on Q&A. I'm going to move it over here so I can see it right next to the chat in case anything comes up in the chat while I'm doing Q&A. And it won't expand. What the hell is going on here? Okay, here we go. So starting with Avocados Diablo. First question today. Quote, not a cow? Oh, that's chat. That's what the hell is that? That's not the Q&A. I want the Q&A. There we go. Questions. There we go. All right. Thank you guys for a very heavy-duty Q&A section today. I love it. Avocados Diablo. If you had to be transported to Lee Majors TV show, would you a Lee Majors TV show, would you choose The Big Valley, Fall Guy, or Buck Rogers? None of the above. $6 Million Man is the only Lee Majors show that I would want to be on. So there you go. Thank you for asking. Avocados Diablo. So do you think in his will, OJ left a line saying, I did it, bitches? Well, what did he write a book called If I Had Done It or something like that? I don't know. Everyone knows he did it. Avocados Diablo. Whatever happened to the old 70s and 80s scavenger hunt ensemble cast movies like Scavenger Hunt or Midnight Madness? Why don't they make those anymore? Well, here's probably why. I don't remember them, and if I don't remember them, they probably weren't all that significant because I watched a lot of TV in the 70s and 80s. I don't know that one. Kay asks, Robert Kardashian was O.J. Simpson's lawyer and thus began the family tradition of getting black men off. That's... Whoa, wait, wrong one. Thank you, Kay. Yes, absolutely. Okay, from Kay. Word on the street was that O.J. Simpson wanted to get married again. Sounds like he wanted to take another stab at it. Oh! And also from Kay. What's the difference between O.J. Simpson and Christopher Reeve? O.J. got to walk. Christopher got the chair. Oh, that's a little spicy. That's a little spicy. Psalm Noble Nation. Now that you've been to Florida, what are the remaining states that you have left to visit to achieve all 50? Well, I've never been to Washington, but I have an aunt who lives in Seattle, so we're going to go visit her someday. I've never been to Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, or Alaska. So I'm probably someday do an Alaska cruise sometime down the road. And then we already planned a trip to the East Coast where we hit those other 3 states because we have to go to Nova Scotia for something. And yeah, so that's it. That's all I have left. Washington, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and Alaska. All right. Let's see. Avocados Diablo. Who's the dumbest person in America? OJ's next girlfriend. Well, especially since he's dead. So... I don't know. I think Joy Behar wouldn't be in the running for that. Okay. Avocados Diablo, what do OJ and the Ku Klux Klan have in common? They both beat up on the Browns. Ooh. Avocados Diablo, what are 2 things OJ has that every man wants? A Heisman Trophy and a dead ex-wife? Ew, what is wrong with you? Well, at least they've got OJ's killer now. Anyway, why did OJ's kids want to live with their dad? They knew they could get away with murder. Ooh. Lord Stanhope, what are your feelings on Flaming Hot Cheetos? Okay, I like the Flaming Hot Cheetos, but I just don't eat Cheetos anymore. I just can't eat that kind of stuff anymore. It's not good for you. Avocados Diablo, why can Heidi Fleiss and OJ play golf together? Because Heidi is a hooker and OJ. Or why can't they play? Because Heidi is a hooker and OJ is a slicer. Oh, snap. Avocados Diabli. What did Johnny Cochran say when accused of beating his wife? At least he didn't kill her like some people I know. Oh! What's the difference between Tang and OJ? Tang won't kill you. Oh! Avocados Diabli. What did Michael Jackson say to OJ? Don't worry, I'll take care of the kids. Oh, nasty. Lord Stanhope, what is the best way to brew coffee? I don't know the best way. I tend to use I have a Keurig with and I don't buy little Keurig cups though. I have a reusable Keurig plastic Keurig cup thingy that I fill every morning with my favorite blends. Avocados Diabli, why can't Ted Kennedy and OJ play golf together? Because Ted is always in the water and OJ, well, he's still a slicer. Oh! Are these from Norm Macdonald? Avocados Diabli, why can't Greg Louganis and OJ play golf together? Oh, by the way, it is the Masters week. So this is in all these golf jokes. Golf and OJ jokes are in honor of the Masters. Why can't Greg Louganis and OJ play golf together? Because Greg is always in the wrong hole and OJ is a slicer. Oh, stop it. What does OJ have in common with a box of fireworks? They both kill people, but we still let them off anyway. Oh. These are terrible. Avocados Diabli, what did OJ whisper to Robert Shapiro as the verdict was being read? Just let me grab my hat and gloves and I'll be outside. Oh, these are all Avocados Diabli unless I say otherwise. Did you hear the cops saying OJ moved the bodies after the murders? They have accused him of 2 carries for 58 yards. Oh, thank you, Lord Stanhope. What's your favorite brand of washing machine? Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what can I have. I'm not even sure. The only brand I can think of is Maytag, but I don't think we have Maytag. We have Kenmore, actually. Kenmore washer dryer. Avocados Diabli, how do we know OJ is innocent? Because when he was with the Bills, he always cut to the left. Ooh. Avocados Diabli, what is Kato Kaelin's proof of? Ginger and Gilligan had sex. I don't even know if that deserved a laugh. AD, did you hear OJ has a new movie coming out? It is called It Was a Wonderful Life. Too soon. Lord Stanhope, what's the most effective way to fold sheets? Let Lady Boomer do it because I'm terrible at it. Avocados Diabli, OJ used to play football. Now it appears he also played soccer. Ooh, DD. What is harder than squeezing blood from a turnip? Squeezing OJ from a Bronco. Why was OJ allowed out of jail for Thanksgiving? He was the only one in the family who could carve the white meat. Oh. These are really bad, getting worse and worse. What did OJ do when he saw the cops in the rearview mirror? He froze and concentrated. Lord Stanhope, what's the show your kid watched that you secretly looked forward to watching? I loved watching the original Blue's Clues with Steve before he turned into a hippie. We enjoyed watching Blue's Clues with the kids because they loved it, and it was we just thought it was so cute because it was new, fresh, something, whatever when they were little kids. So we did enjoy that. Avocados Diabli, what's the difference between Colonel Sanders and OJ? Colonel Sanders cuts up the chicks before he batters them. Oh my God. That's terrible. Avocado Stabby, what did Pee Wee Herman and OJ have in common? They were both arrested for abusing their loved ones. Yeah, you got to understand that joke about Pee Wee Herman situation. Lord Stanhope, now that OJ is dead, who is your favorite sports murderer? I can't even think of any. I don't know. I couldn't name any, to be honest with you. Avocado Stabby, what do you get when you put Lorena Bobbitt, Tammy Faye, and OJ together? A butcher, a baker, and a license plate maker. Oh my God. What's the difference between Rodney King and OJ? OJ started out with millions. Yeah, Rodney King got a little payback. I think he's broke now, though. Lord Stanhope, what has had a more malignant effect on society? Internet, porn, social media in general, or the 24-hour news cycle? I would say the 24-hour news cycle, to be honest with you. I think I don't think we're supposed to know everything that goes on in the world, and especially how the bad things played over and 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 over. I think the 24-hour news cycle, it is because, and also because they are very they pick and choose what they want to play over and over instead of just continuing with news. I don't know. Oh, Aaron Hernandez. There's one. I didn't even think of that. Okay. If OJ met Aaron Hernandez in the woods and they both had machetes, who's coming home? That's from Lord Stanhope. Well, Aaron Hernandez, because he was younger and stronger and whatever. Lord Stanhope, why is television so bad as of late? Because they have no original ideas and they're too busy trying to manipulate social practices rather than just tell good stories. Andrew Thorsten, wine or beer? Mostly for beer. Lord Stanhope, what's for dinner? Tonight is going to be probably some beef stroganoff, but we make it with chicken. It's interesting. Lord Stanhope, what's worse, hopeless drug addiction or being a vegan? Ooh, that's a toss-up. Probably the hopeless drug addiction, though. If you know how to do veganism right and survive, I suppose. Advocatus Diabli, what's the difference between John Elway and OJ? One drives in a slow white Bronco. One is a slow white Bronco. Oh, that was a good one. I like that. Lord Stanhope, what's a good movie to scar your kids for life with? Probably any of the Saw movies. Those are gross. And then finally, Lord Stanhope, last question. Will you have a good weekend? Abso-fucking-lutely. All right, that's it, guys. I got to go. Thank you for joining me on the Morning Night Live today and Q&A. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, roughly. Usually a little bit late, but around 10 o'clock Eastern. And please, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, share the stream. And thanks for the sponsor, the sponsor of the day, Mr. Gunfox61, the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today. Thank you, Kay and Diesel Dave, also for contributing. And I think somebody else. I think I got them all. I got them all. Okay, thank you for the sponsors and everyone participating in the chat. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I plan to. That's it. Gotta go. Putting the links in the... What the hell is that? Putting the links in the night. And thank you for watching today. Okay, let's try that over. Anyway, bye. I gotta go. Observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.